Aloha, I'm Malika Dudley with Maui Now and Big Island Now. We are here again with Chris Brenchley on duty all hurricane season to give you the update for today, Sunday.
So Hurricane Ignacio has been tracking more to the northwest than when we talked yesterday. So what that's done is that's shifted that forecast track a little bit further away from the islands as it moves by. The impacts of that shift are that perhaps we won't see quite as much of wind, a little bit less maybe rain, but we do still expect that we're going to see a lot of the surf, higher surf come into both the Big Island and Maui. And these are waves that were generated back when Ignacio was a Category 4 storm. Now as it's weakening and moving further to the north, we'll still see that surf.
When we're looking at the timing, is the timing still relatively the same? And I know you guys have been issuing local statements for Maui County and the Big Island. What are some of the numbers that we can give people with this current track?
Yeah, so we issue those local statements when there's a watch in effect. So there is a tropical storm watch in effect for the Big Island and also for Maui County. So the impacts that we're expecting are heavy rain potential up to 1 to 3 inches, with locally some spots getting up to 5 inches. Winds coming around to a Kona direction later on. Probably just breezy winds, nothing really too strong. Maybe a few stronger gusts in higher elevations, maybe up country or up in the saddle of the Big Island, for example. And then we'll also see still a threat for isolated thunderstorms. That can always give us a little bit heavier rain. And then also the surf, higher surf coming up to about 15 to 20 feet on the east-facing shores.
Today we've had some moisture moving into the Big Island and Maui County. Is that related to Ignacio? And if so, how? And how long do you think that'll last?
Yeah, so we have seen a little bit of moisture increase, and those are sort of the outer rings of moisture that were wrapped around Ignacio. So as it came close enough, we started to see a little bit of that moisture increase, and it's being driven in on northeast winds, so all the northeast sides of the island's getting a lot of clouds, a lot of showers. We would expect that to continue, but as the winds shift around, it's going to become more island-wide as far as getting a little bit more cloud cover, more showery conditions over the next 2 days.
Now, looking at the track and the way that it's changed a little bit, is there a reason for the change? Have the steering mechanisms changed a little bit? What's behind it, and what's behind the current forecast guidance with the track going a little bit farther north?
Well, the shift in the guidance, a lot of it is shifted because the storm is starting out in a different position than was earlier thought. Anytime a storm starts to move a little north or a little south of the previous forecast track, then that starts it off in a different spot. So the main guiding, the steering mechanisms are the same as what they were before. But this is sort of demonstrating what we say when we say uncertainty. If it takes a little right jog, then it's favorable for the islands in this case. But it could have taken a left jog, and that would have made it more of a worst case scenario. So that just sort of shows us that there is still a lot of uncertainty in the forecast, and we just have to watch it and continue to update those forecasts.
I'm sure our readers are wondering about how likely it is that you might take a left jog and it would be, not favorable for the islands.
Right. Yeah, and so that is the concern. And as it continues to move further north, even a left jog gets us out of the woods, so to speak, with the left jog. So we're still just enough of an uncertainty, and it's just still far enough south that we are continuing to watch it and keep those tropical storm watches out for the time being, but we'll continue to analyze it as it goes north, and at some point it becomes so far north that even if it turns left, it's past us. So at that point, then we're increasing confidence, and then we can lower the watches if we see that.
Sounds optimistic.
Yeah, it is looking optimistic as it is trending more to the north. So that's how we're looking at it.
A quick update on Jimena, which is, I think, closing in on Category 5 status currently.
Yeah, last I checked, Hurricane Jimena is a Category 4, but yeah, it could very well be into the lofty category of Category 5, which is the highest. It is a very intense storm, and it's continuing towards the west-northwest. It's picked up a little speed, but we do expect it to slow down again as it loses its steering currents as it approaches. So once it gets towards the Central Pacific Basin, we expect it to become a very slow-moving storm. And really, at that point, we're getting towards the end of the week, and the steering currents being weak, we're going to have to watch and see where it goes exactly. More the immediate threat is Ignacio, and then we'll look at Jimena down the road, and there'll be a pretty big gap in between any potential threats between the two.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate it.